up.
Kicking ass.
Like, so as much as you loved Captain America fighting Captain America or Captain America saying Hail Hydra, like, you know, these little nods to like the comic books, not the movies, like, well, that's what that was too. So like, fuck off. Like, if you think that was like forced feminism and whatever, just
and
there
like
to
as if this
sell
movie
toys
doesn't have
or
enough
whatever.
masculinity either.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
get out of here.
It's not like they don't.
Thor's
really have,
been
like,
here the whole time.
because there's always women on those men teams.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like
Yeah,
no. I mean,
that
like,
part was
like,
amazing.
you get, like, pure
Valkyrie coming in.
mannerisms. So it's like,
I thought, so we were talking about Pepper Potts. Like,
yeah.
suit.
fucking loved it whenever she showed up in her rescue suit and was just like, all right. And she put in some work.
Yeah.
So,
I
She's
also
fine, right?
like that
Lasers.
part.
you what?
Yeah.
I also like that part.
Yeah, I was just like,
hey,
you know, maybe not so much Pepper
Welcome.
Potts. Like, I'm fine when she's just, you know, like on a conference call and like not in the movie. Like, never been a big Gwyneth Paltrow fan, but you can come back and play rescue all day.
yeah.
Like, have you seen Iron Man 3?
No,
Okay.
I really didn't like those movies.
So Iron Man 3 is terrible.
Yeah, but
however,
she gets powers. She gets powers, and that's why I wanted her. I wanted her to start kicking ass. This is like,
Yeah.
She's
a
actually-
smart character. She's a smart.
I
she's
loved
a
her.
powerful
I
character. So
loved
I'm like,
her in the
but
comics,
they
which is
cured her.
why.
So I'm like, she could have been like
a lot of people hated
she
that
was
scene
a Johnny
in-
Storm character.
well, that's a lot of people hated that scene in Iron Man 3. Like Gwyneth Paltrow gets these powers and
Yeah.
whatever. And I was just like, she kicks ass in
Yeah,
that
she saves
battle.
Tony.
And like, that was the only thing that was good about Iron Man 3 to me.
Yeah.
Was
Right.
whenever Pepper Potts like temporarily gets these like powers and like she saves Iron Man.
And
like,
it's-
she's the one putting in all the work.
It's her
Like,
movie. It's
yeah.
that whole movie's about her.
That was an
literally.
awesome scene.
Like the villain wants her. He comes back to talk to her.
Yeah. So, which is why I was really happy whenever they brought her back in the suit for this battle.
Yeah.
But the only thing I didn't like is the keep away. Like, I love that scene, but I did not like that Captain. Like, even though she could have fought Thanos 1-on-1, like while someone else was doing
Well,
it. You know,
and
like,
that
she
is
coulda-
where we gotta get everybody in here, though.
Right.
So we gotta toss it around. You know,
Little bit of help. You know, it's there to also be like, hey, the Avengers are a team, and we're accomplishing this by teamwork. You know, so I was just like, it's sort of necessary. I think that does show where, you know, the MCU might have some issues later on down the road, is like having this crazy overpowered character of Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And like,
well,
how
that's
you
why
gonna
she
do-
has to be late, right? Like, she's got other stuff to do because she can't be there in the beginning. It'd be too easy.
10-minute movie.
Yeah.
The last thing I think about the battle that, well, maybe not the last, but one of the other scenes is when Captain America picks up Mjolnir, Thor's hammer. I think that is another spot where the like audience sort of like went crazy. Like,
Yeah.
they're like, what?
Like, oh, shit.
Captain America is worthy, and therefore can like pick up the hammer. And I don't know, it was fun to get to see him like fight with the hammer next to Thor with his axe or whatever. So that was a big payoff that I think everybody was waiting for as well. So
They had
finally see
another
that.
bro moment. Like, because in Infinity War, they had one.
About the beard,
Yeah, and
you
then it
know,
was like,
and haircuts.
No, you get the small one.
Yeah.
He's like, you get the small one. Because for a second, he did pick up the axe.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you get the small one. He's
Yeah.
like, the big one's mine. So we're like, it's little
The
bros.
little trade off, yeah.
Well, another favorite moment I had is when Scarlet Witch comes for Thanos because she is pissed.
And I love like when he's like, I don't know who you are.
And she's like, "You're about to."
Yeah, that was funny.
She is a beast, and I don't think she gets enough credit.
No, she's
with
one
her
of my
skill.
favorites, and she's also getting a Disney show.
Oh,
Her
yeah,
own
with Vision,
spin-off.
actually.
Yeah.
I don't know how
What,
that's going to
did
work.
we rebuild
but-
him? I mean, well, he might have been saved. Maybe, because if Sherry did die, but maybe she saved it, but she died, so...
I don't think so.
I don't
They
know,
didn't go
man.
back till like after he has the stone,
Yeah, and they
so
only brought
they didn't undo
back
that.
in that timeline. They only brought back the people that were snapped out. So since he was gone before they snapped out,
Oh, you think because...
Yeah, so he was dead before they snapped. So, like, that's why in that current timeline you wouldn't get, like, Loki back or...
right.
Or Heimdall, which is Thor's other buddy that I lost.
Elder Sayabas.
Yeah, it's only for them.
Yeah.
Actually, so I don't know unless anybody had anything else to say more about the battle. I was thinking we can get a little more into the characters themselves. Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, like some of our
Hawkeye.
core Avengers. Yeah, like the original Avengers, and they really sort of took them on a ride this movie, and they're kind of working to close some of those arcs out and kind of round out those full characters. So I think I'm just going to start with Thor first, since we already mentioned him a little bit earlier. So Thor, 5 years later, when we go and get him, he has gained a lot of weight, drinks all the time, and has this, sort of like, depressive state. Like, he's got some PTSD.
He's kind of sad. Very sad.
Yeah, and
So
anyways,
this
just
was one of the things I did not like about this movie is like, you can have your character absolutely because he lost and he's not good at losing and he's like, hyper masculine and all of these things, like deal with weight gain and like drinking and depression. But to have him put on a fat suit and then make a bunch of jokes about it, I was just like, oh, this is very distasteful. And I'm not into it.
so I like, yeah.
Why?
So I think that I think it's a fine line. And I think that some of what they did was like, okay. Other things was just like, I feel like you pushed it a little too far, because I feel like it is all there for like initially, like it's just there for the laughs.
If it was there for character development, then it would be fine. But it's there for laughs, and I was like, oh, this is distasteful. But then it's not until the scene with the mother where she's like, eat a salad, that I was like, nope, no thank you.
How is it distasteful? I don't get it. Like,
Because it's making fun of fat people.
I don't think he was making fun of fat people when I saw that scene. That's just me personally.
Yeah. Eat a salad. Well, that's also like giving you the entire wrong ideas about how that works.
So I think that like
at
it was the parts that bothered me, I think the most, was whenever we initially pick up Thor and like he's there with his like shirt off, and like, because I feel like that's whenever there's
and they're like
the most jokes. Yeah, and like that seemed a little like gratuitous, like where you're just like, you're trying to get us to laugh at him now being like slobby,
right? Rather than like Jeremy Renner's character, who is being depressed and he's going kind of off the rails and, like killing people, and we're very concerned for what's happened to his character. It's not that. You're not concerned. It's just a joke.
Right. And that's the thing, because I feel like you could have actually dealt with this depression, like where you are this, drunk, depressive, gained weight, like in a way that shows like this is, a path that people go down. And like, I wouldn't have had a problem if like Thor did gain weight and stuff, but that it's the butt of a lot of the jokes
absolutely
was unsettling.
I feel the same.
Whereas like, I thought the good part, I guess, of it was whenever you're towards the end, like there wasn't anything on his end that was like, like I should run some laps and immediately melt this fat off my body. Right. And like he stays that way, and it sort of like works through that, like without him and like the people on his team seeing that as a problem. So I thought in that way, like I was just like, well, I'm glad they like kept that weight on him for the entire fucking movie. Yeah. Because like to get rid of it would have been, I think, more insulting.
Yeah.
So
absolutely,
this is a good segue into Hawkeye, or Jeremy Renner's character, Clint. So Thor in Infinity War, we kind of saw him lose all of his friends, right? He lost his family, lost his friends, and he's like on this like vengeance kick. Like, he's got a goal, fighting for it, like get back at Thanos, kill Thanos.
You mean Hawkeye?
No, I mean Thor.
Oh, okay.
And like the entire movie, that's his goal, right?
Oh,
and then he like,
gotcha.
yeah, like he like fails utterly at that job. which is why he moves into this like just depressive funk, like
Right.
After his failure. And like Hawkeye didn't necessarily have that because he was under house arrest and back with his family. So he like with the snap is actually that first time where he then loses
his
everything,
entire family,
loses everybody, and then he kind of goes on this. He can't reach Thanos, but like he will go on some kind of vengeance streak.
Yeah, he's trying to kill all bad people.
Yeah,
to not
like,
let any people like Thanos become
a
Thanos,
and like
dark streak. Well,
yeah, like you survived though. Like you're a terrible human being. You survived. Like why did my family? That's kind of how.
Yeah,
I took his like taking out all the bad guys that were left,
quote unquote bad guys. But yeah, whenever Black Widow finds them, she's like, ooh.
Well, no, I mean, it's like they were Yakuza, so they weren't technically good guys,
right?
But it's like, but they weren't
harsh.
Thanos, yeah,
Right, to execute them.
Still, maybe not the best idea, as a former hero yourself,
right.
to like just go around killing everybody.
But so the names changed, Ronin, right? Because he was Ronin.
Yeah.
So
do they ever say that in the movie though? I don't know if they do.
No,
but actually, in the
though.
movie, right, he has become Ronin at that point. But he actually calls his daughter Hawkeye, and they've like never really called him that in any of the films. So that's kind of an interesting.
Because he gave her a name.
But yeah, so he's kind of going off the deep end, and whenever they finally are able to pull him back in, and it gives them like a little bit of hope, but. I don't know. He's still ready for that sacrifice play. Like he sort of had this like death wish the entire time because
absolutely.
His family isn't there. Like what else is he gonna do? Like I'm gonna kill bad guys. If I lose, then I don't care because I'll be dead too.
He just wanted to bring him back because even or what are you gonna say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say that it sets up for that scene with Black Widow because he absolutely wants it to be him, and Black Widow's like, no fucking way.
Which is probably, it was really strange. Very misleading to me because at first he called out his daughter's name, like in the house, remember? And he brought back the mitt, like when they tested it out because Ant-Man was shrinking himself.
Like just the trial test.
Yeah, just a trial test.
Right.
And he's like, we need someone to go do it. And he was like, because for some reason, I forgot why, but.
Oh yeah, he went to his
Hawkeye.
family. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he went to go like talk to his family. So like when the Soul Stone scene, I'm like, I thought he was gonna let Natasha Black Widow, go off because he just
wants
saw
to see his family come back. Yeah,
but like he just more than seeing his family, he wants them back.
Well,
to be alive.
I would say to that though that like Natasha is also his family.
Oh yeah.
So like
I think that
I don't want you to die either, and I will sacrifice myself.
Well,
over
and
you.
he's been doing all these terrible things. So in him is like it's clearly got to be me,
right?
And he'll do it to get his family back anyway. So,
like because they'll still be living,
Yeah.
So.
That scene was interesting, but killing Black Widow early and then kind of forgetting about her. Like, they have the whole memorial for Tony Stark, which I think is what said to me that she's not like really dead. But for an Avenger, I don't know. It was just kind of like, oh, well, that was quick.
Well, you have a funeral for Tony, but you didn't
have one for her, and you admitted that you think she's actually dead. I don't know. That was kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of like people who like don't get enough credit, always deserved her own movie, and
she's getting one.
Well, and that's kind of like
only like 7 years too late, but,
right?
Like, I mean, I'm still really pumped for her.
And then what are they gonna do with it now? Just give her like a prequel when she's dead in this timeline?
Yes.
That's kind of fucked.
I think that's good though. And like I didn't get a chance to talk to you about it at Cinco de Mayo, but I talked to Olivia about it. Like she gets to be an assassin again. I love
true Black Widow.
She gets to be like this is before she got all nice and before she got like she was a killer. Like
speaking of
when they say Budapest
comics, I read
like I think like it's almost like
they're gonna go to Budapest.
Well, no. It's like have you ever had like that friend that wasn't good for you, but you just like you drink too much or do something? I think that what they were for each other. at a bad point. So like when they were like both assassins, like they probably had like a badass Budapest where they took out like a syndicate or something by themselves. You know, it's probably like a badass moment. Like that's what I think when they say like remember
And
Budapest.
I think
you know?
Nick Fury says he was also in Budapest at